Dear sisters, brothers, and beloved soulmates, I am Krishna Vadapalli, the owner of this channel, dedicated to promoting a moral and spiritual society worldwide. Our main objective is to share the epic story of the Mahabharata, which serves as a rich collection of spiritual and moral teachings. This includes the Bhagavad Gita, a profound source of enlightenment for all humanity. I kindly ask all viewers to subscribe, like, and share this channel to support our mission. The Mahabharata comprises a total of 589 stories, each contributing to our understanding of life and spirituality. Please subscribe and share and support me for more likewise. Thank you. Yours, Vadapalli Ramakrishna, ancient yoga trainer. The humiliation of Duryodhana in the illusory Maya Sabha. One day, the clever Duryodhana set out alone to witness the beauty of the grand hall built by the architect Maya. This hall, encrusted with precious gems, was as magnificent as the celestial court of Yama, designed in such a way that it could deceive even the eyes of the wise and the foolish alike. When Duryodhana entered the inner chambers of the temple, he became completely engrossed in the marvelous architecture and the strange experiences that greeted him at every step. At one point, he saw a surface made of crystal and mistook it for a water reservoir. He lifted his garments and tried to step down, only to fall. In another area, he encountered a pool that was as clear as a crystal sheet. Thinking it was just the floor without any water, he stepped into it and got completely drenched. When he emerged from the water, Draupadi, Bhima, and the other servants burst into laughter. Draupadi's companions also joined in. Embarrassed, Duryodhana turned away, trying to hide his face. At that moment, Dharmaraja Yudhishthira, who had just concluded his speech, scolded his younger brothers for mocking their brother and said, "Bring dry clothes for him." Everyone fell silent, and garments were given to Duryodhana. Later, Duryodhana mistook a square crystal surface for a pond and jumped onto it with the posture of a swimmer diving into a river. As soon as he stepped onto it, he slipped and fell, causing another burst of laughter. At another spot, he thought a crystal door was open and bumped into it, falling to the ground. Elsewhere, he believed that doors he had previously opened were now shut and was about to push them open when he stumbled and fell forward. Humiliated and confused by all these strange incidents, Duryodhana finally returned to Hastinapur, burdened with the heavy disgrace he had suffered, one that felt as bitter as a defeat in Yarbo. Duryodhana's magical assembly. Dhritarashtra, deeply attached to his son, responded to Duryodhana's request with affection, saying, "My dear Duryodhana, I have never refused any of your wishes. Why should I say no now? But let us first consult with Vidura, who is a wise minister, and then fulfill our duty." However, Duryodhana's uncles and close allies, who were already aware of the plan, strongly opposed the idea of involving Vidura. They feared that if Vidura learned about the plan, he would oppose it and prevent it from being carried out. Duryodhana, determined and manipulative, argued passionately, "If you ask Vidura, this plan will never succeed. Is the counsel of the elders more important, or is the desire of the eldest son? Father, listen to me, I must build a grand assembly hall. I must summon the people and gain respect through this assembly. If this doesn't happen, I will end my life here and now by setting myself on fire. Then, you can speak of righteousness to Vidura and enjoy your peace." With these words, Duryodhana used emotional blackmail as his final weapon. Blinded by his love for his son and shaken by Duryodhana's threat, Dhritarashtra gave in and immediately ordered the fulfillment of his son's wishes. As a result, a majestic and grand Sabha or assembly hall, an illusionary palace, was commissioned. To complete the task swiftly and with unmatched excellence, a vast number of skilled sculptors were appointed. The construction of this splendid hall, with 1,000 intricately carved pillars, 100 grand gates, and walls studded with glittering gems, was begun. Artists and sculptors from distant lands were summoned to adorn the walls with exquisite paintings, mimicking the legendary Maya Sabha. Duryodhana was ecstatic as his ambitious vision began to take form. While Duryodhana remained silent, basking in the Duryodhana's magical assembly, Dhritarashtra, deeply attached to his son, responded to Duryodhana's request with affection, saying, "My dear Duryodhana, I have never refused any of your wishes. Why should I say no now? But let us first consult with Vidura, who is a wise minister, and then fulfill our duty." However, Duryodhana's uncles and close allies, who were already aware of the plan, strongly opposed the idea of involving Vidura. They feared that if Vidura learned about the plan, he would oppose it and prevent it from being carried out. Duryodhana, determined and manipulative, argued passionately, "If you ask Vidura, this plan will never succeed. Is the counsel of the elders more important, or is the desire of the eldest son?" Construction of Duryodhana's Maya Sabha. Dhritarashtra said, "Oh, Duryodhana, I have never refused your requests before. Why should I deny you now? But we must consult Minister Vidura and fulfill our duty accordingly." However, his relatives, who were already aware of the plan, rejected Dhritarashtra's idea, fearing that if Vidura found out, the plan would fail. Duryodhana said, "If you tell Vidura, he will never allow it. Isn't the word of the eldest son important? Isn't my wish important? Father, I must build a grand assembly hall and seek blessings from the gods. If I cannot do this, I would rather burn to death. Then you can discuss righteousness with Vidura and enjoy it," thus expressing his strong desire. Blinded by fatherly affection, Dhritarashtra was frightened by Duryodhana's words and immediately ordered that his wish be fulfilled. As a result, the construction of a massive and magnificent hall began, adorned with 1,000 pillars and 100 doors, and embedded with precious stones on its walls and columns. Like the Maya Sabha, sculptors from all over the world were called to create intricate designs. Duryodhana was delighted, as his wish was coming true. Despite his son's insistence, Dhritarashtra continued sending messages to Vidura, even as he tried to follow proper counsel. He expressed his dislike for the game of dice, believing it would create a rift between brothers. He considered it a dirty game. Dhritarashtra later said, "What kind of secret are you playing with? Bhishma, the old man, you, and I will all be there, right? So how can there be conflict? It's just some grown boys having fun," said Ambikeya. Eventually, Dhritarashtra decided to accept Vidura's resignation, thinking, no one can escape fate. The first gamble. As soon as the construction of the Grand Assembly Hall was completed, Dharmaraja, Yudhishthira, was invited to visit. The hall, lavishly adorned with gems and rubies and entirely built of polished wood, was so magnificent that it was referred to as the Stone Palace. At the auspicious time, Dharmaraja arrived with grace, exchanged respectful greetings, and was welcomed into the court. Shortly after the meeting commenced, he was invited to participate in a game of dice. However, Dharmaraja initially refused, expressing that indulging in such an addictive and deceptive activity was inappropriate at such a holy moment. But Shakuni, with his cunning and persuasive words, cleverly convinced Dharmaraja to join the game. Once seated, it was agreed that no game could be played without wagers. Thus began the infamous game of dice. Dharmaraja took his seat on the Pandavas' side, while Shakuni played on behalf of the Kauravas. Though it was named Surajuta, the friendly game, it was anything but friendly, as the Kauravas had laid a trap through this illusionary contest. Dharmaraja first wagered his exquisite pearl necklace, and lost to Shakuni. Then came his prized Katra chariot, he lost that too. He continued to bet, wagering 1 lakh maidservants only to lose them as well. He went on to gamble 1,000 gold coins, 1,000 chariots, horses of the Gandharva breed, and 400 treasure chests, all of which were defeated by Shakuni's deceitful dice. Still not stopping, Yudhishthira, who held the honor of being a righteous and divine-ordained ruler, wagered his entire remaining kingdom. Shakuni won again. One by one, he gambled his 4 brothers, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva, and Shakuni won them too. Finally, in a moment of despair, Dharmaraja staked himself in the game, and Shakuni defeated him as well. The Kauravas burst into loud, mocking laughter as they watched the noble Dharmaraja defeated, not just in wealth, but in personhood. Shakuni, reveling in his victory, taunted, "Dharmaraja, you have nothing left, except Draupadi. Wager her too and try your luck once more." Caught in the grips of delusion and bound by the rules of the game, Dharmaraja agreed and wagered Draupadi. Shakuni, with his usual trickery, won that bet as well, thus handing over Draupadi and the enslaved Pandavas to the Kauravas. The entire assembly exploded in chaos and uproar at the shocking outcome of this rigged game, as Dharma was trampled underfoot in the court of Hastinapur. Vidura's declaration. Duryodhana, proud of having won Draupadi in the game, immediately called upon Vidura, the wise and brave elder, and commanded, Vidura, go immediately and bring Draupadi, the beloved wife of the Pandavas, to the palace. She is now my possession and must be brought here to serve my palace and its inhabitants. Despite Dhritarashtra's failure to heed the words of wisdom, Vidura, deeply concerned, could not tolerate such an order. He sternly reprimanded Duryodhana, saying, "You fool! Duryodhana! Draupadi is not a slave. The Dharmaraja, who first sought her, has no right to give her up as a prize. How dare you, devoid of any sense of righteousness, call that noble woman a slave? You, like a deer, are foolishly seeking revenge on the Pandavas, who are like lions. How long do you think you will live in such arrogance? Wake up before it's too late." Duryodhana, growing irritated with Vidura's words, angrily ordered his servant Pratikami, a suitor, to carry out his command. Pratikami! This Vidura is a coward. He will always cry out like this because he fears the Pandavas. Go inside immediately and bring Draupadi to the palace, Duryodhana said. The servant, Pratikami, was furious at the command, but reluctantly prepared to obey.